Now, let's go to the sixth method. Kaya humana na ta sa double declining balance. And the sixth method is the working hours. Now, working hours method, the definition is that life of service is measured in hours. So, the depreciation is measured per hour. It is based on time and not by interest. So, hour ang naga-define sa depreciation. Okay. So, how does it depreciate? If we try to look at the graph sa declining balance earlier, naga-depreciate siya in terms of years. So, years iyahang measurement pag mag-depreciate. And this one is affected by the percentage of depreciation or depreciation rate. Meanwhile, in the working hours method, wala tay percent na ginagamit, right? And the time na ginagamit diri is in hours, dili years. These hours will define the depreciation amount, okay? Dili percent. From the first cost, magbaba siya og amount to the salvage cost. SV or S is same lang. Okay, so hours. So, how many hours for the first cost to depreciate to the salvage value? If that is not clear, let's go to the example kanina, the book value. Diba, you saw this book for 350 pesos 2 years ago. After 2 years, nahimo siyang 50 pesos. Okay. So, di ba sabihin, di ba, mo yung first cost and this is your salvage value. Now, how many hours 2 years? It has 17,472 hours. Now, if by definition nga ko ginganina 17,472 hours, di ba, kay hours from the first cost nga mahimo siyang salvage value is this one. Ana. Is this right? No. Why? Because dili siya applicable, because by definition of working hours method, ang hours nga ginapasabot dira is the life of service or life of use. So, ang hours is like kanus-ani, hangtod kanus-ani mo siya pwede magamit. Regardless of siya, pila siya ka years nag-depreciate. Okay? Nga naman. So, you begin to ask, are you sure that you can only read the book for 17,472 hours? So, pag, let's say, mo gipalit atong first year, then, hangtod 2 years, after 2 years, dili na ba ni mo ni siya mabasa? Ana ba? Kaya ibig sabihin, di ba, kay kanang life of service man. Answer is, are you sure that you can only read the book for 17,472 hours? No. Why? Because the book is still readable even after that hours. So, ibig sabihin, maskin, after 2 years, 17,000 hours, makabasa maghihapon ka sa libro. Kaya kunyari, guba lang yung cover pero nindot pa ang print sa yung text, mabasa pa. Or wala pa nawalaan ng mga pages. So, ibig sabihin, ang life of service niya can exceed that hours of 2 years. So, dili mag-matter kung pila ka years. Okay? Ang mag-matter is ang hours of service or hours of use. Okay? Now, it could be more than or less than 17,472 hours to use the book. Okay? Dili siya but life of service in hours. Now, the formula siya itong gamiton is this one. Depreciation amount per hour, small letter D, equals the first cost, B, minus salvage value, S, over N hours. Or hours of service. Mo ni siya ang gamay nga N, hours of service. The D is the depreciation amount per hour. So, the D sa mga ubang method, diba, is percentage siya. This one is depreciation amount per hour. The second formula is depreciation amount after being used in M hours. So, amount lang ni siya, wala na ni siya hours. So, pila daw ang amount nga na-depreciate. Okay, small letter D is equal to depreciation amount and small letter M is the hours of use. So, you should not interchange N and M. Ang N is the hours of service and M is the hours of use. N is, for example, naka-computer and then 5 years ni mo siya nagamit. So, ang muna siyang N. Kaya naguba na siya after 5 years. So, that is the life of service. Pag hours of use, for example, sa first year ni mo, kay let's say, 10 hours lang ka nakagamit, or 100 hours, so ibig sabihin mo na mo ang M, in between the ends service. So, mo ang N is the hours of service, the total nga hours nga pwede nimo gamiton, and hours of use is kanus lang nimo siya nagamit. Pila lang siya mo siya ka oras nagamit. Okay. Now, to understand the formula, let's look at the graph. Okay? So, di ba hours from the first cost, mag-depreciate siya to the salvage value. Now, this part here is the first cost, di ba? And then, this one is the the depreciation and the book value. So, sa beginning, so dako pa yung book value, and then ginabawasan niya. So, this is the book value, kinasa ubos, and nasa taas is the depreciation. Ana. Now, this is the N hours, and this is the M hours. Life of service, and then life of use. So, mo na total time nga pwede mo siya gamiton, and mo lang ni ang time nga imuhang nagamit ato nga asset. Okay? Now, using ratio and proportion, we can get this formula. B minus S over N equals D over M. So, this is like a triangle ratio and proportion. So, kining B minus S over N is actually the factor for the depreciation amount per hour. And if imuha ning i-transpose ning M dito, i-times ni mo na siya. Okay? Kini, may mo man na siyang D, di ba? So, M ug D. So, that means may mo na siyang depreciation amount after being used in M hours. So, ina lang ang working method. Kana lang ang duha ka formula. Okay? Now, let's try to solve. An equipment cost 480,000 and has a salvage value of 10% of its cost at the end of its economic life of 360,000 operating hours. 36,000 operating hours in a period of 5 years. In the first year of service, it was used for 12,000 hours. If at the second year it was used for 15,000 hours, find the depreciation at the first and second year. So given, the first cost is 480,000 and has a salvage value 10% daw of its cost. So ibig sabihin 10% of 480,000. And N is 36,000 hours because it's economic life ang equipment. Mo na ang life of service. And then M, kay namatay at duha man ka M ato kay first year is 12,000 hours lang daw nimo siya nagamit in the first year, at the first year. And then at the second year, 15,000 hours daw nimo siya nagamit. The question is, pila ang depreciation amount after those years, okay? So, solution, find the depreciation per year first. Okay, gamit din nga formula, since duha ra may ka formula itong gamiton, is this one. 480,000 minus, this is the first cost, minus the salvage value, and salvage value is the 10% of 480,000 over the life of service, and 36,000 is equals to 12 per hour. This is $12 per hour. And then, to find the requirement, the capital D is equals to D times M. So, using this, the small d is 12 times M in the first year is 12,000 hours. So, 14,400 in dollars di siya. $144,000. And then, depreciation amount in year 2 is 12 times 150,000 or 180,000. So, by using this just two formula, nakuha nimo ang depreciation amount. This is in dollars and this is in dollars per hour. Okay. So, let us solve problem number 2. A machine costing 3 million has a salvage value of 0.1 million. 0.1 million is 100,000. Okay, 3 million ang first cost and a salvage value of 0.1 or 100,000. At the end of its useful life, 20 years, it can be used for 5,000 hours in its entire life. So, life of service niya, 5,000 daw di mo siya pwedeng gabiton hangtod sa hangtod ang time, hangtod ang years. So, find the cumulative depreciation after using it for 1,000 hours. This is 1,000. So, just, lang na siya. I-neglect lang ng 5. That is 1. So, required is D is equals to, Ayan. So, the depreciation amount. Solution is find the depreciation per year. So, depreciation per year is the first cost, 3 million minus 0.1 million or 100,000 over the life of service, 5,000. So, 3 million minus 100,000 over 5,000 is $580 per hour. Now, the formula used is kani gihapon. And then, the depreciation amount. So, the depreciation per year, 580 per hour, multiplied by the M, or life of use, 1,000. Okay? So, the answer is 580,000. So, ibig sabihin, nag-depreciate siya in an amount of 580,000 after using it of 1,000 hours. So, pag humando mo gamit 1,000 hours, ang value na lang niya is 580,000. Okay. So, ganyan lang. Now, the important note for working hours is to answer this. How many hours can the asset work for you? So, that is what we call working hours, or the life of service. Yes. How many hours can the asset work for you? And that's only for the working hours method.